Hi, I'm Jim.
I'm Rhenda.
We're Hardiness Approach.
We've been asked by one of our viewers to be able to demonstrate how a BCS can help seniors when they're senior steading on their homestead. So we're going to have Jim explain each part and demonstrate it.
We only have 3 of the attachments, so we're going to show how those 3 work and how the attaching goes on. We have the 853, which is one of the larger models, and it's a little large. Not everybody needs something this big. We chose this size because of what we were going to be doing, and we know we're going to be using it. So the first thing I want to show is this little gadget here. This is the quick change attachment. Usually if you put an attachment on here, it would fit in place of where this piece is here, and it would attach onto the tractor right there. This is the power takeoff port on the unit. But with this in there, the attachments slide right in here. This pops down. Sometimes it needs a bit of help to come in and out. But you can, it's a fairly easy on, easy off, much more than if you had to bolt them on all individually. So we're going to show how that works. This is the back side, and for the first attachment that we're going to use, we actually will demonstrate how these handlebars spin around to where the back becomes the front, and how that works. So let's go through the attachments first. This is the Flail mower, and this is the part that goes into the power takeoff on there. It slides in, and if you come up close you can see the hole where that little bolt gadget, the pin goes down in here to hold it on and in place. Okay? Don't know if I'm strong enough to get you a good view of this. So you can see what the flails look like. They spin around and just wipe out whatever in their way. It has an adjustment. By spinning this all the way this way, we get the shortest possible cut, which is what we want to do. So, or we can raise it up to where you get a few inches of cut, but this gets it right down on the dirt. So we're going to attach this, and then we're going to show some flailing. I've done most of the cutting already, but there's one section I'm going to cut to show you how it functions, and then we'll do the other 2. This is the tiller. Back here we have this attachment that is the precision depth roller, and it can be adjusted up where it has, little effect on the depth, or put it out here to where it actually raises the tiller up quite a bit to where you're just tilling just the top part of the soil. The tiller is also adjustable right here as far as the depth. There's a little bar that pushes on the ground, and it keeps the tiller depth from going too deep, or if you want it to go deeper, to adjust it that way. The purpose of this is not only to adjust the tilling depth, but when you've prepared a bed, and we're going to demonstrate this, but when you have the bed thoroughly prepared to where it's been tilled, and then you've shaped it, and then you want to get it level on the top, you run the tiller to where it's really shallow, and this depth roller then goes down the bed, and it flattens it out perfectly. So it's then it's totally prepared now to be able to put seeds in, or starts, or whatever you might want to do. But that's the purpose of this guy here. So we'll demonstrate him in a little bit. This is it's called Ground Blaster. It's really a rotary plow. And if you look at that, that's the plow part. We're going to demonstrate that as well. But the way we use that is between the beds, where you're doing the rows between the beds. It takes the soil that's there and throws it up onto the bed. So you go down one side and then down the other, and then it's ready for the precision depth roller to do it. But we'll go through the whole process. That was like a preview of what's going to happen. What I'm going to do now is move the handlebars so that they are at the rear end, so I can put the front end into the flail mower. So to start that, these control arms have to be moved out of the way so that we can spin it around. So I grab the handle that's on the right side of the bars and just rotate this around where I get down to this end here. And when I'm lined up in the middle, I get it in place, grab the arms, put them back in place. Flail mower has to be in the front as we're moving it. It's not between us and the tractor, so we're actually going to be going in reverse, which creates an issue with keeping your head straight, because what happens is now the left brake is on the right side and the right brake is on the left side, but there's a forward and reverse. So when we're going forward now, we have to be in reverse. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's how it works. Am I at the right height?
No, you need to come, your bars need to come, now go straight. There you go. Oh, it came off. There you go. It came off. Okay.
Are we on?
No, but we're on. More than we were.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it. I find that putting the flail mower on and off is really the hardest of the implements to, the attachments to put on or take off. Not sure why. It's really heavy, so it doesn't manipulate quite as easily, and that may be part of it. But once it's on really well. So we're going to start the machine and do a little bit of flailing to demonstrate how it does it. One of the advantages of the flail mower as opposed to like a rotary blade that's on a lot of mowers is that it's got a lot of blades and it shreds it into tinier pieces. So as far as getting it to mulch up, it is already starting quite small. So it's ripped to shreds and very small. It's anything you can run over with it, it can knock down. Now, if you start getting big branches, this is not a brush mower. Okay, it's not going to take down big branches as easy, but as far as things that you can run over and knock down, it's going to shred them.
Even though this grass has already been mowed, he's taken it down to hardly anything so that we'll be able to put the garden into it. Just so that you understand, this field out here that has like 2 feet tall grass, he could easily go in there and flail that down to exactly this size. But because we need this for our garden, that's what we're doing right now.
We're now ready to rototill, so I'm going to put the tiller on. I've taken the flail mower off. We're going to put the tiller on. I actually have the handlebars backwards still, but it helps me for getting it on because it's backed all the way up against the side, and I don't like to drive the machine back up to where it pins me up against the side.
And more down. There you go. More up, up, up. There you go. You're on. Oh, so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
So much lighter.
Yeah.
A lot easier to deal with.
There's a lot of rocks, and so when there's rocks, it pushes him really fast and it won't allow him to go over it. But I want to show you the size of the rock we just got.
We're running into a couple of issues. Number one, the ground is really too wet for working it this way. It's still pretty moist. So we're probably faced with, it's not going to dry out enough this week by the end of the week, and it's supposed to be raining all next week. So we're probably postponing this project for a while, which means we're going to go ahead and cover this with the tarps that we have, and then come back when it's drier and see what we can do. The other problem we have, and this is perhaps a bigger one, is there are lots of rocks.
I showed them.
Like case in point, like what Rhenda showed.
So I'm going to show you one place on here where you see him just run with it, and that's because it's hit a rock, and so it just pushes over the top. And so, yeah, that's, I mean, he's not in trouble with it. There's no place he can go. He knows what to do for it. But we will win at this.
We just have to get the rocks out of here.
But it's going to be a process, so it's
we very much want this to be a garden area. It's probably one of the only spots that's this large that we can use that's rectangular
and relatively flat. It's on a little slope.
Absolutely, and really for us, not much other. I don't know what other purpose we'd put it to. So that's what we're going to do. I guess we could do an orchard in here. That's about the only other thing.
But we've got 2 or 3 other places we're doing orchards.
We got lots
we need
of places
food.
for orchards. So we need garden. So we're going to start here. Whatever battle we fight and win here, we're going to fight other places to get our garden areas in there. But we need them all. And it's just a battle we're going to have to fight. It's like the people used to have to cut down the trees, take out the stumps, move the rocks, and that's how they got the field started. You don't start with something that's not a field you can plant in, and it's all hunky-dory. That hundreds of years ago, or 100 years, 150, 200 years ago, people did something to make it that way. With this ground here, it's only ever been a pasture or a corral, so it needs to become a garden.
This is what you do when you can't BCS and get it ready because it's too wet and too rocky and too grassy.
So we cobbled together everything we have that's suitable for covering outside, and pretty much every extra piece of whatnot that we're not going to use to hold it down. And
it looks pretty hillbilly.
So this is our garden area. So at this point we're going to let this set for as long as it needs to turn this into just soil, nothing growing on it, which is ideal. And hopefully at that time it'll be drier, and then we'll deal with the rocks.
So we'll see this filled in June.
Yes.